people that I know use these free services. What is our practical as librarians? Where do we point people, besides the stories that Katina couldn't get into her documents? How do we lead people to similar
I think you need to have real discussions with people, and this is a place where actually I think IT and libraries can work together very effectively, much more so than they have in the past, to really get them to think more deeply about backup. You know, IT sort of does it on a very short-term basis. You know, how do I make a copy of my hard disk so when it crashes? But when you think about backups for, you know, personal workflow, like I've been using Google Docs for 3 years, you know, you really ought to be able to answer the question, what happens if my account gets hacked and emptied out, or what happens if they announce they're shutting it down? There's a whole question of how you get data out of these services. You know, I've been involved with this personal digital archiving conference the last few years that we do at the Internet Archive in February. And, you know, we've looked at this kind of question of, you get invested in using one of these services. Now, how do you get what's, you know, really in all reason is your data back out so you could put it somewhere else? And, you know, some of the companies don't really even necessarily feel it's your data. You know, I kind of feel my purchase history at Amazon is my data, and I ought to be able to, you know, pull it out of there if I want to do some analysis on it.
Yeah, I mean, if I've lost my Google Docs, I'm going to be upset. You know, and I don't know if they're going to be, if the techies are going to be able to fix it or not.
You take that to a researcher or a faculty, tenure track faculty member who loses a couple years of research.
It's a whole other issue at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, just like we were saying, you know, NSF and NIH are now requiring, you know, data management plans. We need to do that unilaterally. we don't need to wait for just that funding. It's again a potential role for the university library to build that kind of diligence across the university.
Well, I liked what Mackenzie Smith talked about, data papers, where it gives you much more information about how you got to where you are.
That's right. That's right.